Hi, I'm John Cranton. Welcome to your AFC North preview for 2012 NFL season. 2011, the Ravens won the division, even though they were tied 12-4 with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, many are looking at the young Ravens as a team to beat again and defend that title. However, we're going to start with Pittsburgh as the team to most likely win the AFC North this year. Look at the last 10 years. Steelers have been good as anybody in football as far as talent evaluation, scouting, general manager, drafting, and coaching. And over the last 20 years, the Steelers have probably been better than any other team in football. So the over-under wins for the Steelers for 2012 is 10 wins. And this is an organization that has won 10 games or more 5 times in the last decade. Highly impressive. Tremendous balance on this Pittsburgh Steelers team. They're tops in total defense last year, giving up just 271.8 yards per game. And the offense, they were 10th in passing and 14th in rushing, despite quite a few injuries. The big move for the Steelers on offense for 2012 is our offensive coordinator, Bruce Arians. He's moved on and given way to Todd Haley. Haley plans to design plays to keep Big Ben Roethlisberger in the pocket more. Doesn't want Ben to run around, and that means he's going to emphasize the vertical game. Steelers want to throw the ball down the field more, and that's fine when you got guys, speedy guys like Mike Wallace and Antonio Brown. Both of those receivers had over 1,000 yards last season. Now, the last 3 years, the Steelers have used 4 first or second round draft picks on the offensive line, and they did that again in this offseason with Stanford guard David DeCastro. They took him in the first round, and in the second round they took Ohio State tackle Mike Adams. So this offensive line continues to get rebuilt and looks very strong. Now the defense has some age up front, but they did break down with injuries last year and should be healthy. You got Casey Hampton and Brett Kissel up front along with young Ziggy Hood. They got rookie nose tackle Alameda Tamu and great linebackers as they usually do. Now, the Steelers ended last season 2-5 against the spread, overvalued mainly because of injuries. But note that they were 10-6 under the total during the regular season. Wouldn't be surprised to see that trend continue with a very good offense but a rock-solid defense. Now, I would say probably over 10 wins for the Steelers. Schedule is tough in the first half of the season. 5 of their first 8 games are on the road. And look at the road trips. Are at Denver, at Oakland, Tennessee, at Cincinnati, and the New York Giants. Then they get December game at Dallas. But still, probably over 10 wins, but also a very good team to look at under the total on individual games. Then there's the Baltimore Ravens. They're also projected over-under of 10 wins. Think about the Ravens, 8-0 at home last season, 4-4 on the road. This has been a trend with the Ravens for over a decade since their championship season. Dominant at home, but suspect at times on the road. Ravens defense, 3rd in the NFL in yards allowed, and the offense, like Pittsburgh, balanced, only they do it a little differently. They were 19th in passing and 10th in rushing, and really you have to focus on the run if you're the Baltimore Ravens when you have a talent like Ray Rice in the backfield, 1,364 yards rushing, and then he caught passes for 704 receiving yards. A tremendous season for Rice. Quarterback Joe Flacco, 20 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, but he threw a career-low 57.6 completion percentage, so he's still not an upper echelon quarterback. Offensive line lost Ben Grubbs, one of the top offensive guards in the game. He signed with New Orleans as a free agent. That's a major concern for the offensive line. Now, the defense also has some changes, too. They lost linebacker Jarrett Jack and defensive tackle Corey Redding during free agency. And the big news, really, was Defensive Player of the Year Terrell Suggs. He tore Achilles in early May, a very serious injury. May be back before the season's ending, but you really have to consider the Ravens playing without him for all of the season, if not most of it. So Baltimore drafted Alabama linebacker Courtney Upshaw with the 3rd pick of the 2nd round. Good news is the secondary retained Ladarius Rebb. He had 5 interceptions and 2 touchdowns, 1 on an interception and 1 on a kick return. Now the Ravens, not surprisingly, great team under the total, 8-4-1 under the total. Schedule is very difficult in mid-season for Baltimore. 6 of 9 games they're playing on the road in mid-season, playing at Pittsburgh, at San Diego, at Washington, at Houston. And then look at the home games. New York Giants, the Patriots, the Steelers, the Bengals, and Dallas. No way with some of these changes that I'm going to be looking over 10 wins for the Ravens, be looking at under 10 wins. Then you got the surprise team last year, the Cincinnati Bengals. They are projected at 7.5 wins after going 9-7 last year and making the playoffs. Remember, the Bengals started the season 7-1 against the spread as they surprised everybody, including the odds makers. And then they came back to earth significantly, just 1-6-2 against the spread. That'll be a run they carry into the new season, and that counts that playoff loss to Houston, a 31-10 mashing. Well, the defense is very strong, 7th in total yards. Offense, though, below average, a conservative group, 20th in passing yards and 19th in rushing. You had a rookie quarterback last year in Andy Dalton who impressed, 20 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Running back Cedric Benson had just over 1,000 yards, and then young wide receiver A.J. Green also had over 1,000 yards, and athletic wide receiver Jerome Simpson with 725 yards. Story there, though, is Cedric Benson has held out, and they had to sign running back Ben Jarvis Green Ellis from New England. Definitely not an upgrade. It's a conservative offense that averaged 21.5 points per game. That was good enough for just 18th in the NFL. Good news is they do get wide receiver Jordan Shipley back from injury, and tight end Jermaine Grisham is very good. Still, the offense didn't do much in the offseason, but the defense did. The Bengals took Alabama cornerback Dre Kirkpatrick with the 17th pick in the draft and selected Penn State defensive tackle Devon Still in the second round. The secondary for the Bengals looks outstanding. They add Jason Allen, joining Leon Hall and Nate Clements. So this looks like one of the best secondaries in the country. The schedule is very difficult. They play 4 of the first 6 games on the road, playing at the Ravens, the Redskins, the Jaguars, and the Browns. And then you throw in some home games against the defending champion Giants, Ravens, Dallas, and other games against the Steelers on the road and the Philadelphia Eagles. Very difficult schedule for Cincinnati. One thing to keep in mind is last year the Bengals, despite that conservative offense, were 11-4-1 over the total. They carry that run into the new season. That's a trend, though, that I wouldn't be surprised to see go in the other direction with a rock-solid defense, but a conservative offense. Wouldn't be surprised to see the Bengals a team to look at regularly under the total. And finally, coming up the rear, you got the Cleveland Browns. 5.5 wins over-under is their projected. The Browns are rebuilding again. Just 4-12 last season. A lot of holes, a lot of problems on the team. 29th offensively in yards gained and 30th in points scored. They lost running back Peyton Hillis. He went to the Kansas City Chiefs. They lost one of the best defensive leaders in safety Mike Adams, as well as offensive guard Artis Hicks. So they got a lot of new faces. The offense has quarterback Colt McCoy, but they're probably not going to go with him this season as they drafted in the first round 28-year-old Oklahoma State quarterback Brandon Whedon. That was a surprise pick at number 22. Plus, they used the 3rd overall pick to take Alabama running back Trent Richardson. So this offense has brand new looks everywhere. Cleveland added defensive ends Jarquay Parker and Frosty Rucker to what is a pretty good defensive line. Browns also retained some key pieces in kicker Phil Dawson and tight end Alex Smith. Now they're on a 6-1 spread run, but I wouldn't be surprised to see that ending as this team just isn't very good overall. And the Browns are on a 10-4-2 run under the total. Wouldn't be surprised to see that continue as this defense looks pretty good, but the offense looks really weak overall. So that team, that'll be another last place finish for the Cleveland Browns. Now remember, if you're looking for winning selections, Jim Feist is offering an early bird special. If you want to sign up for his preseason special, you get all of Jim's NFL preseason games for the entire month of August for $29 if you sign up before August 1st, and that's going to include his preseason game of the year. So be sure and grab that at 1-866-841-1655. Good luck, enjoy the games, and look for more previews right here at jimfeist.tv.